We've arrived at the northeast tip of Kinmen Island. We are here at Mashan. That means Horse Mountain. This is considered one of the most important sentry points in the world because a mile and a half away at low tide is China. Although this island is mostly demilitarized, this island is still a strategically important place. We're gonna walk down here and check out this observation post. Now we're supposed to go in that way.
Yeah.
There's a 175-meter tunnel that connects this observation point to the main base back here. All right, at the end of that tunnel is the Mashan Observation Post. This place is so cool. You can look right over here and see China. It's right there. And I imagine back in the day, let me turn around so maybe you can see some China. I imagine back in the day, this was hugely important. Nowadays with drones, satellites, other technology, it may not be as important, but again, you can see right over and see China from here. This is awesome. Yeah, you can like see the people on these boats and stuff over here. You can see exactly what people were doing. I don't think most people realize just how close these two countries are. If China were to ever invade the main island of Taiwan, you'd think they would need to try to take Kinmen first. I mean, this is a place that they bombed for 30 years, were never able to take. So I imagine it might be easier now with modern technology and the fact that it's been demilitarized, but nonetheless, this is an important strategic point for China and for Taiwan. Not only were they keeping an eye on their neighbors here at Mashan, but at the Mashan broadcasting station, they were blasting music and propaganda at the Chinese soldiers, trying to get them to defect. During my visit, I even took a turn, shouting messages across the water to China.
China are looking at us right now.
Chrissy said people from China are looking at us right now. That is true. We're like in the last frontier of Taiwan. We're in a frontier zone of Asia. This is so cool. All right, this is awesome, but we're gonna go check out something even cooler. Let's go look at some of these spikes on the beach. I don't know how useful these spikes would be today if a modern warship tried to land on these beaches, but for the last 50 years, these spikes have prevented, or at least deterred, amphibious landings from China. This would definitely rip the hull out of a wooden boat, which is the last time the Chinese tried a major assault on the island was in 1949. And these sort of spikes would have been really useful against those wooden sampans. This beach is absolutely beautiful. It's hard to believe this is one of the most contentious places in the world right now. Could be the start of World War III right here at this beach. If something goes wrong, you never know. Okay, we reached the Shanhou Village. This is a restored old village that gives us a look at what China and Taiwan looked like hundreds of years ago. Here we have another replica home. This grand entrance, these beautiful carvings. This is absolutely gorgeous. And like some of these houses we've seen that are still around today in the countryside, they've got housing, they've got rooms off to the side. And this central courtyard area often leads to a temple. If you know the answer, please let me know in the comments. But all of these homes have a large part of the square footage dedicated to shrines. Now, I don't know if this is for ancestors or for Buddha or what, but it's pretty interesting that so much of the house, the center part of the house, has these shrines in them. Here we have another bedroom. This is nice. I would live in this today. I'd stay in a hotel that looks like this. This is pretty cool. At the Shanhou Village, we realized there are two types of tourist destinations on Kinmen. Those that are accessible by tour bus and those that are not. Places like the Shanhou Village, where buses can easily go, had tons and tons of Taiwanese tourists. But places that were down narrow roads where we could barely get to in our rental car, we had those places all to ourselves. We're here at the August 23rd Artillery Museum. It tells the story of the August 23rd attack in 1958, when China, during the second Taiwanese Strait crisis, started shelling Taiwan in incredible numbers. Over the next couple of months, they dropped nearly 500,000 shells on this island, and then continued to shell it for the next 20 years, but only on every other day. That's part of the reason this island looks like it does, because for 20 years, this island got bombed every other day. They moved tons of the facilities underground, hotels, hospitals, military bases, and it just wasn't conducive for development. Nobody wanted to move out here. And they finally stopped shelling when China normalized relations with the United States. All right, let's go check out this museum and see what it has to offer. This is the M41 tank, which is now the primary tank used in the Taiwan Army. The howitzer had showed its powerful destructive power and effectively blockaded Chinese communist waterways around the Paisha River and Amoy area, and we harvested abundant combat fruits. The August 23rd Artillery Museum was actually quite fascinating. It showed how the people of Kinmen Island lived underground in tunnels and bunkers during the time of Chinese bombardment. It also showed how Taiwan counterattacked not only with weapons, but also with propaganda. Taiwan blasted messages via loudspeaker and sent anti-communist propaganda in artillery shells and balloons to the mainland. Over here on the southwest corner of the island, we have this pleasant seaside park. Got these dramatic cliffs that spill into the rocky coast. It's a beautiful spot. Be a good place to enjoy a sunset or a sunrise. But right now, it's middle of the day and it's so hot. Okay, by screaming into the megaphone, it makes water come out of these fishes. Even though Chinese tourists are currently not allowed to come over and visit, this area is still a thriving tourist area with domestic tourists. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tour buses here, plus 4 little cars like ours. But there's still lots of people visiting from Taiwan, from the main island. At sunset, we went to Cihu Beach, where I hope to take some dramatic, award-winning photos with the iron spikes in the foreground and the city lights of China in the background. I'll show you those photos right now if they turned out to be any good. This is such a beautiful and peaceful place. It's sad this is one of the most contentious places in the world. It's sad that people here just can't live their lives. They can't travel back and forth to China. They can't receive tourists back and forth from China. This place is magical. It would be awesome if it could be opened up with no threat of war, no problems, and just let people live their lives here. But it's always the governments that get in the way. It's never the regular people. They never want these wars. They never want these conflicts. It's always a political ideology, a quest for power from just a few people, usually men, and it's just kind of sad that it has to be that way when places like this could be peaceful, beautiful places with friendship if they could just find a way to resolve their issues. Of course, I don't think that will happen until the Communist Party in China falls. But until then, people can still visit Kinmen, enjoy these beaches, and even though you can't really swim in it because of the because of the politics and the dangers associated with it. But maybe someday these barriers will be removed and this will be a place people can come visit in peace and travel back and forth to China easily.